And good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, or whatever the heck it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to The View from Here, Behind Enemy Lines. I have to apologize first off to our listeners and watchers on viewers on Spotify, because I neglected to publish last weekend's episode on time. I forgot to schedule it. I didn't hit the schedule button, so it didn't go. I just put it up now, so you will have two episodes today on Spotify. The other platforms, YouTube, Rumble, and Apple Podcasts, it went up there. So anyway, why is it we always waste? Why I always waste time with nonsense when we open the show?
To have it.
All right. Okay, we have a couple of guests later this month scheduled, but in a couple of weeks. We'll talk about that later, maybe, if we remember. And anyway, the reason we are coming here today is that Michael said, yes, we have to do something on October 7th, because it is another day that should live in infamy. It's when those Philistines of the Bible, who are today known as Palestinians, went into a music festival in Israel where people were celebrating and just having a good time, and they killed over 1,000, over
1,200.
I'm
They
sorry,
killed 1,200.
1,200, and they kidnapped, I forget, over 100 also.
Well, the thing is also 38 of those 1,200 were children.
Yes, and some of them were whole families that were burned alive in their homes. Okay, they were killed, and some of them, these terrorists, these scum from Hamas, they taped themselves torturing and killing the children and the wife, and then the husband. In some cases, okay, these are horrific people. There's no excuse for them, and
Right.
I can only wish the worst for them, every single one of them, and for their entire families too.
Well,
These
here's the thing.
animals have families, you know.
It was suggested by some people that today, in solidarity with the Israeli people, the Jewish people, that you would go ahead and
Fly an
display
Israeli flag.
this flag. Well, I displayed it in my car and in front of my house, and I drove around about 40 or 50 miles a day, not for this purpose, but I also discovered that nobody else was doing it, which saddens me because of the fact that 1,200 innocent people, men, women, and children, were tortured, murdered, and then paraded around, and then killed and then captured and so forth like that. That's beyond the 1,200. And there is still, and I wish to apologize as an American citizen to the Jewish people and to the Israeli people, the shame that is on this country for those people who have chosen to go anti-Semitic. They are not citizens I would pull out of the water. They are, to me, the antithesis of decency, the antithesis of honor. They are absolute. There is no word to describe my animosity towards them. But if you can come up with one, please invite it into that empty space where they belong. I grew up in a Jewish neighborhood, so that makes me a bit more sensitive. There was a beautiful woman named Rose Silverstein, who I consider my second mother, as far as I'm concerned. She took care of me in the afternoons, when I was at school, made sure I had a nice place to sit down and have lunch. I was friends with her son, Kenny Silverstein, and a number of other Jewish folks who at the time I didn't give a goddamn Jewish or not. They were just people.
Yeah.
And then recently, in these past few years, especially since the height of the Biden administration, this loathing of Jews and these lies that have been used to go ahead and, in their way, justify the atrocities that took place, and to actually deny. I've even had people tell me that it never took place, that October 7th never took place, that it was staged, it was a lie, it was there was something, but it was just a few people, etc., etc. So the thing is that if you know the enemies of these evil people, okay, regardless of their motivation, will do whatever they can, say whatever they can, in order to trick the those people who won't inquire. And they're just miserable. It is a tactic we've seen over and over again in these past 4 or 5 years, which is, you know, uh, you know, a very leftist, communist kind of thing. So I think two things are necessary for tonight. Number one, we have to take a moment to feel the horror and the suffering that these poor people had to experience. And another thing that we have to do is we have to remind ourselves that how utterly horrific and dastardly and devilish this assault was. That is our justification. That is our righteousness to stop them from ever doing it again by any means necessary. And guess what? When you go ahead and you decide to send your people out and they run amok and then they come back and then they use you as human shields, then that is essentially the choice you've made. And for those poor few bastards out there that are in that area that simply went along for the ride just to avoid, being singled out and maybe treated poorly themselves, sorry, but get the hell out of there. And it's easy to say that. There's going to be a number of people in Palestine that are truly tragic elements, okay? And I pray to God that they find some sort of solace. But for the entire people of that region who actually participated in the parade that took place where their victims were stripped naked and paraded around like wild animals. I mean, just imagine that. Just imagine you just saw hundreds and hundreds of people hacked, beaten to death, and now you've been walking down there, stripping you and having you walk down the street, and all of these miserable, stinking Palestinians are participating in that. Now, if you didn't participate in it, you're not a miserable, stinking Palestinian. But if you did participate in it, then you are what that is. You're a fine example of your race and your ideology. So anyway.
Inbred savages.
Yeah. Actually, I'll be honest with you. A savage heart, still, a savage beast, does not kill without purpose. These monsters killed for the joy of it. They are sick, perverted, and they are demonic. And then on top of that, they use God as a justification for their atrocities. They are, by every definition of the world, corrupt. And they are, like any disease, they should be eradicated. I didn't mean to go off.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
You're absolutely correct in all of this. And it leads me to yeah. I mean, this is what I've been feeling, especially the last 2 years since October 7th of
Hmm.
23. They're they've been accusing Israel of committing genocide against Gaza and so on and so forth, when it's really any shall we say, innocent or deaths or unwarranted deaths are due to Hamas hiding behind the people that they are controlling. But by the same token, you got to remember that the Palestinians of Gaza elected Hamas to run that what is essentially what was their state, their so-called uh, Palestinian state. But they don't want that. They want the rest of Israel. They want to kill every single Jew and drive them out. Even though Israel is about, if it reaches 3% of the entire Arab Muslim world, it's it's a lot. Okay, it's too much for them. They don't want it. They just want every Israeli destroyed, and they want to return it to the desert it was beforehand. Remember, yeah, go ahead.
I just want to interject before the moment is gone because you mentioned genocide. Okay, here's the thing: the same people that are declaring that Israel is committing genocide are the same people that are saying that transgenders are being treated as a genocidal group, and we all know that's bullshit. Okay, so the thing is, where's this genocide that we've all heard about when it comes to transgenders? In the same place with the genocide of Israel, of Palestine is taking place. That is a war zone. People die in a war zone, and guess what? Grandmas, grandpas, little kids, they die in a war zone. So if you don't if you don't want to have a war zone, then my suggestion is do not attack Israel and kill 1,200 people and then take a whole bunch of people hostages and throw all kinds of bombs at them. Just, I mean, what are they supposed to do? What is Israel supposed to do when 1,200 people on their territory are liquidated with impunity?
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, Gaza was let's see, what was it, 10 or 12 years ago? Gaza was abandoned by the Israelis. In other words, they forcibly removed all the Israeli settlers in that area, people who built their lives and their businesses and their farms, so forth there, and they left it for the Palestinians who wanted to live there. They gave them their own state, in effect. They had tried several times before to come up with a two state solution, but every time there was one put forth by Israel, Hamas, well, first the Palestinian, what is it, Palestinian Authority under Arafat, they turned it down every single time. And right after turning down the two-state solution, they went to war against Israel. And thank goodness they got their asses kicked each time. And people are saying, oh, but, then Israel wound up taking more and more land and so on and so forth. Well, Israel is taking back ancestral lands from millennia ago. Okay. The Arabs who have been in that area have been Arabs. There is no such thing as a Palestinian. They were Philistines back in biblical times. Okay. In the Old Testament times, they were Philistines. And these are the people who were the ancestors of the current day so-called Palestinians. And Palestinian name only came about because England gave the area that name. European countries gave the area that name when they shipped the Jews there. Okay.
Actually, I believe that Palestine uh, is a title that does mean Philistine.
Yeah, Philistine. It comes directly from the word Philistine.
Yes.
Okay, and we know how good the Philistines were. The same Philistines who captured Samson and who threw Goliath up against David and so forth. Those were the Philistines. Those are the same inbred animals, less than animals, who are out there in Gaza today. And what was I going to say? Oh, so What happened was when the Israeli army forcibly removed the Israeli settlers out of there and gave that land to that Gaza Strip to the so-called Palestinians. They left behind greenhouses that were because it was a desert area, and they had greenhouses where they had grown a lot of crops and so forth. The first thing that the Palestinians did was destroy all the greenhouses,
Yeah,
thus
that's what I
destroying
heard.
all their source of food. Okay, so yeah, I have no pity for these people. They are. I don't know if it's the inbreeding or if it's just a hatred that they take from their reading of the Quran, but they are vicious and stupid. They're very stupid and bloodthirsty.
Yeah, the sins of the father can be passed on to the son. That's for sure. If you have a mentally disturbed or ideologically disturbed individual and he raises a child to be in agreement with his thoughts, then the kid is going to be carrying that, and that's unfortunate, but that's just the way it goes. But see, first of all, and I'm going to get to the point. First of all, if at this point in time you think that Israel doesn't have the right to defend itself, that Israel is actually committing genocide, and that had no justification to attack elements in Palestine, then I
In
suggest you go
Gaza,
fuck yourself.
in Gaza, there's
And
no
yeah,
Palestine.
Gaza. I'm sorry, in Gaza. Then kiss my ass. So the thing is that, and for those people who do believe that Israel is not in the wrong, or at the very least is not as wrong as everybody says he is, because I mean, I don't know, maybe they're going too far in some direction, but they seem to be doing a lot of great things as far as I'm concerned. Then I want to bring it back to the United States and the shame that we carry because our fellow citizens are have decided to basically take the direction of the Nazis, to hate Jews. I mean, you talk about Nazis, calling us Nazis all the time. I'm sorry, but I'm not a Jew hater. Okay, but you are. If you are
You're
anti-Jewish or
supporting
something.
Palestine, whatever that is in your mind, okay? Which
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
exist
just
and shouldn't exist.
the point is that um, this country has gone through, America has gone through some really big shifts in the past 4 or 5 years. We've gone through some crazy stuff, and this anti-Semitism came out of nowhere. I
It came out
always
of
thought,
academia because you got these leftist professors who just hate Israel. Many of them are even Jews themselves, self-hating Jews. Okay, and they just hate Israel. They hate the whole concept of Israel, and I don't know what it is that makes them want to support these this inbred tribe of. I can't even come up with a bad enough word to describe them.
see, I'm very proud of the fact that Roy and I are more than capable of maligning these people with great ease and with great verbal skill. I think we're both very capable when it comes to calling these rabid dogs out.
Trying not to
But
curse today too.
yeah, well, I already did. So the point is that this is a wake up call. This is a call to arms that every American, out of decency, should at least protect their Jewish citizenry as best they can. You know, and um, basically that includes being able to stand and speak defensively when somebody talks and lies about them. You know, so um, the Israeli people, the Jewish people, they have been the whipping dogs for centuries. They have been poorly treated. They have a long history of terrible things happening to them.
Around the world.
Yes. So the thing is that I think to some extent it it was religious driven, because it was my God, not yours. But this is the 21st century, and I think we've reached a point where there's plenty of room for more than one expression of God. And if you don't think that, then I'm not interested in talking to you unless you're willing to listen to me. So I don't know. I want
Well,
what I really want to
the
do is
only
I want
place where Arabs who live in Israel have the same rights as Jewish citizens. Muslim
okay. I know
people
I do.
among them have the same rights. They even have representatives in the Knesset, their version of Parliament, Congress, whatever you want to call it. They have their own neighborhoods. They are even allowed to administer the temple on the mount, which was originally the site of the Jewish temple of old. Okay, and of course, being the conquerors they are, they put a mosque up on top of the mount there because that's what they do. I mean, there's a place in England, in southern England, that has no Muslims around for miles, and they
Why,
built
why, why,
a huge mosque there.
why do you think the left removed all those Confederate statues? Because they don't want any honor to be associated with the Confederate States.
They don't want any memory of the Confederate States or yeah, okay. Slavery was one of the driving forces of the Civil War, but it was not the only one. It came down to all
State
states'
rights.
rights too.
Yeah, and don't forget the North entered the southern states before anything was fired. So, but the thing is that regardless of whether or not you believe in one side or the other's righteousness for having the Civil War, I mean, I'm a Northerner. I tend to be pro-North, but the fact of the matter is, if my people fought in a war that they believed in, okay,
And fought
that is
valiantly too.
yes, and that is not dishonorable. They may have been fighting for the wrong reason, but they're not like not every German soldier was a scoundrel. I mean, some of those guys were just doing their job.
Or
You know,
had to because otherwise they'd be killed. Just like just like if you're a Palestinian, if you don't go along with the horrors that they're inflicting on Jews or any non-Muslims, because remember the biggest genocide today has been going on for decades, and it's against Christians all over the Middle East. Okay.
yeah. Well, I wonder who's doing that. Huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Gee, it's those bearded barbarians.
No, no, that's the religion of peace.
The religion of peace. Peace. Yeah.
That's also that's more Orwellian doublespeak. But the thing is that I think I think we need to pray for Israel now.
Yeah.
I think we need. How about a moment so this way ourselves and our listeners can focus on prayer in favor of the Jewish people and the state of Israel.
Moment of silence for those who were slaughtered, butchered
Yes,
on October
that too.
7th, and who were kidnapped, and many of whose fate is still unknown, doesn't.
Mm.
You know, after Israel left Gaza, giving it to the so-called Palestinians, these Philistines, 10, 12 years ago, the Palestinian Authority and now Hamas, they have gotten hundreds of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions, okay, if not in the billions. And what have they done with that money? Instead of feeding their people, instead of building Gaza into let's say it, a copy of Israel. Israel went in there. The Jews had nothing but desert, and they turned it into a paradise, a functioning and profitable paradise. And the Palestinians, no, they destroyed. They destroyed the the, the agriculture that was left to them that had been put in place by Israelis. Okay, and even pipes. Remember all those pipes, the water pipes. There was a big thing a couple of years ago about there's not enough water in Gaza. That's because they were taking the pipes that the UN was giving them, uh, to build water lines so forth, and using it to construct rockets so that they could launch those rockets to Israel.
Yes. They must have learned that trick from Gavin Newsom. not using the pipes that could bring water down to Los Angeles.
Yeah, I wonder if he shipped some of the pipes over to Palestine, to Gaza.
No, instead, he'd rather go ahead and make laws that ICE can't use masks to cover their face
Yeah,
because they're being doxxed.
yeah. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? No, he probably used the pipes. He probably sent them over to the railroad that goes nowhere. The one that's cost
Hmm.
$1 billion already and hasn't been built and will never be built.
Yeah, there's also a number of let's see, is it yesterday that the movie from Angel Studios came out, The Dragon?
Oh, it was supposed to come out around now. I don't remember when.
I think it's going to go streaming. It's in the movies. I think the
Yeah, it
6th.
was this week. It was this week. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
and then the
today.
9th is when it's supposed to go streaming,
Okay.
and that is, I believe, a Dinesh D'Souza movie,
Yes, I
and
believe so.
it's about Gaza and the history and all that other stuff. But yeah, the Israel's enemies are lying dogs, and they they continue to claim that Israel has no right there, and and they 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 just lie, and then they build up their weapons, and then they attack. So it's possible Trump feels there's a chance that there'll be peace in the next couple of days. Um, the argument is that uh, he wants all of the hostages back, and uh, from a negotiating point of view, Hamas is all he's got. All Hamas has is the hostages. So I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't know.
know. Hamas cannot be trusted. Muslims with their thing, which is in the Quran, taqiyya, which means they are told that to lie to the infidel to advance the cause of Islam. This is why I don't trust any of them. I don't trust Gaza, the Hamas or anybody else representing Gaza. I just don't trust them. Period.
Right,
And they
right.
are all the Muslim Brotherhood is the one that's behind the invasion of all the Western countries for the past 50, 60 years. They've sent enough people in so that now they are creating chaos in the countries they've settled in. And they're putting up mosques all over the place because a mosque is a sign of their conquest. Okay.
They're not just putting up mosques. A lot of times they're simply taking over other religious buildings.
Yes, they're purposely turning churches into mosques.
Right. Kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah, and it's like rubbing our faces in it. And now they come over here. You can't go over there and try and change their culture. It's okay to keep your culture in your home, in your family. Teach your kids your culture. No, even if you are Muslim, but don't try and come over here and change the entire country's culture. We have our own culture here. They want to eliminate it, totally destroy it. Mamdani, this socialist, this communist Islamist who is in, who's wealthy by the way. His father's a billionaire, I think. He wants to destroy New York City from within. This is what the Muslims have been doing. Thanks to the Muslim Brotherhood, they are destroying the West from within. How many? I have to wonder how many billions of dollars, oil dollars, have gone into the pockets of Western politicians who think they're going to be safe once Islam is in control of all of Europe and all of the Americas. You know what? If they think they're going to have a great life, no, they're going to be slaughtered unless they convert to Islam and prove it some way.
There's a game out there. I forget the name of it, and um, there's a character in it that was in uh, these horrible stories. Is named Cthulhu. Cthulhu is basically a mythical elder god that was asleep, and then if you can cast the right spells, you can bring him into existence. He comes into the world and literally destroys it. Okay, so there was and one of the games. we're playing this game that we're all cultists and we're trying to get Cthulhu in. It's actually very funny, but it doesn't sound like it.
Call of
One of
Cthulhu.
the
Yeah,
cards,
we used to role play that for a little bit.
one of the cards has a picture of a guy with a T-shirt, and the T-shirt says, "He will eat me last." And that's what these people that are selling out are hoping for, that they will be the last to be eaten.
Yeah, all these gays for Palestine and trans people for
What a
Palestine.
joke.
First off, if they were in Gaza, they'd be thrown off buildings, raped, tortured, whatever, dragged behind vehicles. They would be nothing. They would become just bloody messes. But they think that because they're supporting Palestine, that if there's a Muslim takeover, they don't realize they'll be the first to go.
Yeah.
They will be the first ones that the Nazified Muslims will kill. Remember, the Muslim Brotherhood was financed by Adolf Hitler, the Mufti who ran to Germany. All right, got to be good friends with Hitler, and he learned about Hitler's. Mein Kampf is still widely read in the Arabic or in the Muslim world. Okay, which is mostly Arabic, but not all. So that's their secondary Bible, I would say, because it has to do with the cleansing of the earth, of the presence of the Jews. But so Nazi influences are behind this Islamic drive to destroy every Jew in the world,
right? And actually,
and every Christian too.
Sure. How about this? Every non-Muslim.
Every infidel. Which reminds me, I forgot I was going to do this before.
Infidel.
Yeah.
So now you have somebody really interesting to talk to and listen to, which is me.
There you go. Here you go. There it is. See it?
What does it say?
Infidel. And it's got
very nice.
Arabic also. That's who I am, motherfuckers. I cursed. I didn't want to.
Well, it was just a matter of time.
Leave it on for the rest of the show.
Yeah.
For the rest of this episode.
Yeah, so
I proudly wear this.
Right. That's good.
And I'm not saying that, the Israeli government is better than any other government in the world or whatever. No. Every government has problem people. But the Israeli government really is fighting for the survival of their people. Okay? Whereas the leadership in Europe is fighting, maybe non-bloodily, but they are fighting to allow the invading Islamists to conquer Europe, to do away with any and all European culture. Okay? England has just taken over as the rape capital of the world. They took that title over from Sweden. The Swedes, I think, the Danes are, I believe, starting to push back. Denmark outlawed the burqa.
Nice.
Which is something that all Western countries should do. You can't, and they fight because they don't want to take the burqa off to get a driver's license photo. Well, then you can't drive.
Right. We have to see who the hell you
are. A
lot
of these scumbags are men dressed as women in burqas, going
there you go,
and probably carrying firearms under there or bombs under their
a bomb up their ass. Just on the Dragon movie, something that Dinesh D'Souza mentioned, which shocked me. There is a lot of video footage of people being murdered and tortured and raped, etc., etc.
On October 7th.
Right, a lot of it, hours of it. And the reason is because these subhuman monsters.
That's a good description.
Video taped everything.
Yes.
They were making home movies of this murder fest.
They were proud of what they were doing.
Oh yeah, and they put it out. Yay! Look, bang bang, stabby
Well, it
stabby.
wasn't D'Souza who made that up. He didn't use actors for that. No, no, no. He used actual footage taken by these terrorist
In
thugs.
truth, he says there's quite a bit of footage he couldn't show because it was so horribly graphic that it goes beyond what you should show in a video. But it is available to the right people. Some people have seen this footage and they are appalled.
Anyway,
So the thing is that the dragon uses footage which these scoundrels literally took themselves. So there's nobody could say, "Well, where did you get that? That is that AI?" No, no, you damn bitch! It is not AI. What it is these people glorifying in murder, rape, and torture.
yeah, it's not one of those phony Palestinian videos that they make where they have kids throw rocks at the Israeli defense forces, and then the defense forces fire back, above their heads, and then they make believe that that some kid got shot, got killed. Then they always coincidentally have an ambulance right, literally around the corner, comes, picks up the guy, and puts him in. And I've seen footage where they showed where the guy under the blanket who was supposedly dead before they put him in the ambulance. He was raising it up, or he's talking to them. They tell him, "No, put the thing down. You're supposed to be dead." You know, this is
Well,
not phony crap.
so I this did not go the way I wanted it to go. I wanted it to be more somber. I wanted it to be more soul searching. Instead, it was an opportunity for Roy and I to basically vent. I don't know if there's any healing that is coming about from this video. And maybe there shouldn't be. Maybe we should all be feeling our wounds, and like they got Joe. That kind of like I don't know, man. It's I'm getting tired of just sitting here and doing nothing about this. But what else can I do but wait and just be aware of my own environment? And if there's a problem, then there's a problem.
All right, I think
We're
we
good.
got our point across here today,
Yes.
and we honor
And
those
Roy,
people who
when
were the
when the
victims.
video's over, when the video's over, don't just leave. Wait until it's uploaded.
All right, yeah. Well, it's good to throw some humor in there somewhere. That's okay. You're
Right.
following my
Right.
adage now.
A little there
And I,
is.
I want to apologize because when you were ranting about the flag, I was supposed to have printed out a flag as Michael did and posted like he did. But I got home late from New York. I was in New York for the past
With his
2
girlfriend.
days. Yes, whose birthday it was. Anyway, I came home. Didn't have I hadn't even thought about it, and I didn't have a chance to print it out before we came online.
It's it's going to be on the video we share, so it doesn't matter.
Yes, I know it's
You're in
there.
solidarity with
It's
this.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
There you
again, I want to stress that this is what I am. Okay, this is what I am, folks. An
go. I
infidel.
thought you were just a cretin. You've gone
Well,
from
no, the
cretin
cretins are the
to
people.
infidel.
The cretins are the people who call themselves Palestinians, and even worse, those who support those people. If you can call them people, I don't even want to call them people. They are not part of the human race. Okay.
Well,
Oh, by the way, one more thing I forgot. Israel's committing genocide. Every time they're going to attack someplace, they tell the regular citizens, get out now before we come in or before we drop the bombs. Do it. Go. If you stay there, you're going to get hurt. They got fair one. And then Hamas shoots these people as they are trying to flee the area. Hamas kills them. And then they say Israel killed them.
and
Fuck
then
you, Hamas.
and then Hamas sets up their rockets and stuff inside buildings where people are living.
Yeah.
They turn
Hospitals, schools.
they yeah they turn those buildings into military targets.
And they don't let the kids or the patients leave because they want the deaths because they don't really give a damn about their people. All they are, it's in their charter to
It's
kill every Jew and wipe out Israel off the map.
it's a win-win situation. It either stops the ethical from going ahead and attacking that spot, or if they attack the spot, then they have dead kids to show the world and get public support, and then NATO can go ahead and
Let me tell you,
use.
if Israel wasn't concerned with not taking innocent lives, if any of these people are innocent, okay, they would not warn them and they would not hold back. And right now, all of Gaza would be a desert, a wasteland, all of it, because Israel has the power to do that, and they haven't done it.
Yeah,
Okay, so don't
that would
tell me
be
that
extreme.
The Israelis are committing genocide. You're full of shit.
I think Israel has the tactical power to be able to wipe out Gaza in a heartbeat if it
Oh
was
yeah,
indiscriminate.
yeah, exactly. Just as
That's it.
we had the power to wipe out the North Vietnamese too, but our politicians said, no, 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 you got to fight with one hand tied behind your back.
Well, they were
Our
also making
military.
money on the war.
But
They're making money on the war.
yes, there's a lot of money to
You
be
sell
made.
arms if you not
A
use them.
lot of money to be made in Ukraine and throughout the Middle East, and they're making it. And they don't even need it out in the Middle East because they've got the oil.
We got oil too now.
Okay.
Roy, time to go.
Yes. We're going to say goodnight. And please remember the victims of October 7th, the Israeli victims of October 7th in your prayers. See you
Yes.
later. We'll see you next time on The View from Here, Behind Enemy Lines.